You know, when it comes to the Epstein files, we have a huge problem, and I exposed this on my Bottle Language Guy channel, how there's so much fluff and misinformation and completely made up stuff in there, because there's even the tips from people who were literally making things up. And the problem is that even if they were making things up, or this is hearsay, or this is hearsay of a hearsay of a hearsay, you have levels of hearsay. If somebody said, that somebody said, that somebody said, you're going to have headlines and titles and things like this that are going to hurt people that had nothing to do with Epstein. And we need to talk about Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I'm keeping an eye on your comments. Try, really try. Just try. Just try me. I'm keeping an eye on your comments. File claims. This is the kind of stuff that I'm telling you, that I'm going to talk about the royal family, but I want to address what is going on right now with the royal family and the Epstein files that should not be happening. We have this. Alert. File claims Queen was Epstein client. I'm going to tell you, when you're browsing X or you're browsing Facebook is full of misinformation. Facebook is full of fake videos about everything. I could say that YouTube is also fake, full of fake stuff. But Facebook it's something that is a cesspool. But again, we have this on X. File claims Queen was Epstein, quote-unquote, client. And I'm going to ask you, what percentage of the population do you think is going to read past this without jumping straight to the comments? I knew it. They are all reptilians. They all eat babies. They drink baby blood. All that. They're going to do that. They're going to do that instantly. They're not going to even read the subtitle. A newly released document quotes Murray Gell-Mann saying that he was under the impression that Epstein's clients include the Queen of England, but there's no independent evidence confirming it. Nobody, or at least less than half of the population, is going to read these 3 lines. And even less people are going to bother reading the actual text. So we go here and read the actual text and see that they are talking about this. Murray Gell-Mann and mathematical biologist Martin Nowak, when this man described Epstein, they talk about energy and curiosity, as well as a love for theoretical physics. So this is a guy having these recollections about 2 guys. So this is the opinion of one person, the memory of one person. Gell-Mann rather sweetly mentions that there are always pretty ladies around when he goes to dinner, chair Epstein, and he's under the impression that Epstein's clients include the Queen of England. That's it. You have somebody, you are relying on the memory of someone thinking about a guy that he alleged, that he thinks that was hanging out with Epstein, and he kind of remembers that that person had the idea that the Queen of England was one of Epstein's clients. You understand the madness, right? You understand the madness. You follow me on the Bottle Language Guy channel. You're watching this section on the Royal Rogue channel right now. You can understand how this upsets me. Because how much I respect Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. You have this absolute hearsay that reminds me of Giles Corran. This is worse than I don't know. I think that Giles Corran is even worse than this. But then you have this guy Mario Knopfel. This is the kind of accounts that just post this for clicks. They know people are not going to read besides the title. People are going to see Epstein and the Queen, and I knew it. The monarchy is tainted. All of them All of them are PDF files. All of them eat babies. All of them drink adrenochrome. All of that. We're going to instantly jump into that conclusion. And we have, again, two problems here. The first problem is that, yes, Donald Trump was right that this was going to, but there's so much nonsense in here. There's so much noise in here that is not even evidence, that is not even things created by Epstein, because there's even images and videos of pornography downloaded by Epstein from the internet in the Epstein files. So talk about the fluff of this. And at the same time, he knew that some opportunists were going to use this kind of, this is not even cherry picking. This is atom picking. This is you're picking a molecule from this wall of text, from hearsay to smear the Queen Elizabeth in some way for clicks. This was bound to happen. And yeah, you see the replies. The replies are disgusting. So, again, at some point, to some extent, I need to focus on Andrew here. To some extent, I can't blame people when they say, okay, well, Andrew is a rotten apple. We know that Sarah Ferguson is a rotten apple as well. We know that these people have absolutely no principles. But there's one thing that I have told you many times in my videos, many times in my live streams, is that you should never judge a person by their family, not for good, not for bad. So you have to judge people on a case-by-case basis. Yes, maybe if you see somebody who comes from a family of thieves, then you can say that, okay, statistically, I better not hang out with them, but it could be unfair because, yes, somebody righteous could come from a bad family, and it could be the opposite as well. Say what you want, but this is something that Randy Andy, which is the scientific, accurate way of calling him right now, this is what he brought upon himself, and this is what he has brought upon the royal family. Because now the whole royal family is under scrutiny because of some kind of ties to Epstein. And that photo of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at the cabin, at the lodge, at the cabin, I don't know where the cabin, and this is the cabin that you see a picture of the Queen, and you see a photo of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and it's the same one, just because this, how does I don't know, this guy that doesn't have a brain, he only thinks with his dick, and you know how dangerous it is. He brought that upon the royal family. And now, well, King Charles is dealing with that. According to Lady C, big shout out to Lady C, by the way, I haven't mentioned her in a while. According to Lady C, this has not been the ideal circumstances for the king's health. The king's health has been impacted by this. And you know that he was going through the whole prostate cancer treatment. He was, I think I've seen him, he was in good spirits, but it is obvious that so many tensions, and even William and Catherine having to pronounce themselves, you know, we are with the victims, of course. They have to say something, because all the things that Randy Andy, has brought upon his family. And you have Randy Andy on one side, and you have the clickbaiters on the other side. This is absolutely unfair. And you say, oh, are you defending pedos again, Jesus? No, I'm saying that, once again, Donald Trump was right. This could be very well considered a hoax crafted by Democrats because they made sure to fill this up with a lot of stuff that, was a little nothing burger. There is evidence in there, of course. There are actual videos of Jeffrey Epstein doing stuff in the files, but there's a lot of more stuff implicating people that had nothing to do with Epstein. And right now, you can imagine how the WhatsApp groups of anti-monarchists are just on fire with this kind of stuff. But it should not be happening. Can this be stopped? No. Pandora's box has been opened. Anything goes with this. I would say that people should exercise some critical thinking in the slightest way, but people don't want critical thinking. People want it's served to tell me what happened. Oh, the Queen is in the Epstein files. That's all that their brain is going to register. And they're going to repeat that. And they're going to broadcast that to their WhatsApp groups. And that is the most concerning thing, is to realize that these people also vote. And their vote counts exactly as yours and mine. And that, my friends, that's not fair. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.